Today we will discuss about an important topic on NPS. NPS that tells about the Net Promoter Score. What is about it? It is a matrix, a customer loyalty matrix. The customer will provide you a rating in the scale of 1 to 10, and they will recommend the product of a company or the service of a company so that the sales will be increased. This NPS, how they rated the NPS score, right, in the scale of 1 to 10, we have three factors: the promoter, the passive, the deductor. You can see the extremely liked, which is a gold, which is nothing but the promoter. And you can see the likely, unlikely, very unlikely, right? You can see this thing, the net promoter, how it is calculated. That gold minus the green plus yellow under it. That gives you the net promoter score. So, how they raise the question is they are not raising the question in the scale of 1 to 10, but logically they will ask a question to the customer about the product and the services in terms of how likely or extremely or very unlikely they feel about the product. So using the score, the organization will get input from the customer in order to think about where they can maximize their services or maximize the best optimal of the product. So we'll go ahead with the net promoter score here. So the scores will be the total promoter, the total deductor, and the promoter, and everything they have in the scale actually. As we see here, the scale here, this is a scale, and we are going to discuss about how the net promoter score can shown in a visualization. That is a challenging one. It was one of the requirement with one of the ask from the client. They want the net promoter score in God chart. This requirement, how which just came to us is they want to mimic the Salesforce Gantt chart where they have this net promoter, passive, and deductor. But in Tableau at the time, we don't have the similar kind of Gantt chart that shows the three of them. So we think about it is not the normal way or a normal chart we have in Tableau. So what is the better way we think in our mind at the time? Then in our mind we think about that the donut chart would be the right chart to show this the similar chart what in Salesforce. So there is not a straightforward we can achieve that actually. And how we make it is we make the concession like this actually. And with the donut chart, we made the semicircle and a needle, and we can able to show it the needle actually. But the requirement is they want minus 100 plus 100 on the both the extremes of the bottom of the chart of the semi donut chart. And we look into the sector, and we divided the sector in a slice A, slice B, slice C, like that actually. And we created a dummy object over here actually. For needle would be a both of a dummy, and we created in such a logically created in such a way to have this the portion and the appropriate the colors and to be followed. And you can see the slicer A plus, which is a promoter, which is a gold, right? And the slicer A minus, which is a deductor, and we are showing the needle as a black color. Okay, and you can see this. You can see the how the needle is there. If it is your NPS score is minus value, then we need to show the sector size in red actually, right? And also we need to show the needle. And also this is the logic that we build. How we make it in Tableau is we make the pie chart here. In the pie chart we make a dual axis, and we use the in one of the dual axis we use the measure name and measure value. In other axis we use the same measure name measure value, and here we make the size actually. The measure value has a size, and we make the to display the NPS score as a text mark card here. So this plays the magic actually. You can see the pie chart, the measure value as a size that will display your sector size in the chart actually. You can see if it is a passive, it should be 00, that is a passive. Your gauge will be shown this color actually. If it is a score or your NPS score 0 to plus 100 in between, you need to show in green color. If your score NPS score is minus 0 to minus 100, you need to show the color as red. And this is fine. We can able to do that. For segregating the color based on the NPS score, it's a tricky part. We need to divide logically this thing actually. So what we did is we make this slide, we make this logical as 300 as a value, and in the 300 we separate each and everything like this. Let's say if I'm saying slicer A plus is nothing but your if you are nothing but the this thing actually. You can see right the promoter. The promoter how we logically made it. If your score is greater than or equal to 100, then show the NPS score. This is the and if your score is less than or 0, then show the NPS score A minus A plus. And slicer B both a condition of if your NPS score is greater than 100 and less than and then 100 minus here we are showing that if it is greater than 0, then we put 100, and also we need to place this right 0 to 100. How we are calculating this area is we are checking the slicer 0. Let's say our NPS score is 40. What we do is if our NPS score is 40, then our needle should be where it need to be shown here, right? So what we did is we make this 100 minus 40, right? 100 minus 40, uh, that will be your 60, right? So it will show your 40 here, that show here is a 60 like that actually. And if not, if your slicer is less than 0, what if? Then we will take the absolute. Why we are taking absolute of NPS score is we need to make that absolute score and then minus actually. Although it is minus is minus, it will we can't get the value. We make it a absolute and make it as 100, or else we can put it as a 100 actually, right? And the same for slicer C. We are making the condition if your score is greater than 100, then we make it as a slicer C, right? And 300 minus slicer A minus slicer B, else this should be your score. So we make a logical in a structure and to display the value over here. And this is our NPS score. If your sum of promoter is greater than 0 and your sum of passive greater than 0 and sum of deductor greater than 0, then 100. Else if your sum of promoter greater than 0 and sum of passive greater than 0 and sum of this thing greater than 0, then minus 100. Else sum of promoter minus deductor into 100 divided by sum of these three categories. So using that, we constructed the dashboard. Let me show this how this value which is created. You can see, right? If your NPS score is 100, our NPS score is nothing but your promoter minus deductor divided by promoter plus passive plus deductor. And if it is 0, how we are showing here, this is the output. It need to be 0 to 20, right? Our color should be green. So this how our guard chart showing that the value should be progressed from 0 to 20. And the needle that will stop you, it shows a guard chart, your NPS score is 20. How the calculation we just made is, we made out the slicer is 20, which is greater than 0. Means we are reducing this value 20 minus 100 equal to 80. The 80% will be our gray area. Means 20% will be our the green area. That tells you about what is your gray area, because the gray area is the one we display the non values. Except the gray area, that will be the respective thing actually. Now what if your score is minus 20? That tells you that 0 to 100 minus 100, so our color should be on the red. The same logic will be followed here, except this area, that will be your gray, and from 0 to minus 20, this will be your red. So, and what if your NPS score is 100, it will show to 0 to 100 like this. If it is minus 100, it will show 0 to minus 100. And if your score is passive 0, it will show on the either side as a, gray area. So this where the challenging part, that we make use of this NPS, and we mimic the similar kind of Salesforce, what they mimic this kind of a chart in a Tableau, in a these kind of a workaround, and we did it actually. So it was a kind of out of box at the time, but we did it actually. The users, they like the chart, they want the similar chart in Tableau. I hope this presentation will give a kind of an idea how we can make the Gantt chart in Tableau in a out of box thinking. Thank you.